you guys have got to know Brett now, so you know the energy level and the amount of time that he puts into this thing and bringing us good players to coach. And so we appreciate that. It gives us an opportunity. Now we've got to coach guys up, and guys have to play. And we're early in the season, and we got to keep growing together. But we appreciate the talent that we've been given. Yeah.
Andy Reid's press conference is brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Stop by any Casey location for Travis Kelce's 87 and Running Concrete and help raise money for this worthy cause. 87 and Running and Andy's Frozen Custard, the perfect option play for Casey fans everywhere.
All right. As far as the guys that won't practice today, Mike Dana won't practice, although he's doing better. We're just going to hold him out. And then Tooney fits into that same category with the ankle sprain, so he won't practice today. We're just monitoring those two guys. And then Fenton won't practice with the hamstring. McDuffie will practice, and we'll just see how he does as we go. And we look forward to the challenge of playing the 49ers, a good football team, very talented and very well coached. So with that, time's yours here.
Coach, I asked you a couple of weeks ago about Blake Bell and Lucas Niang's status. As you approach the bye, are these two candidates that you're looking maybe after the bye, after them to come back?
Most likely it'd be after the bye, but somewhere after the bye. But they are getting better. We just have to see how it goes. Yeah.
Andy, Brian Cook back to practice today?
Yes.
Okay. Willie Gay, what are your expectations for him this week? Do you expect him to be up on Sunday?
I'm going to see how things go here this week. We'll see. We'll just see how it goes. See where he's at. You're all right.
Sorry, is Cook out of the concussion protocol, or is he still in it?
Yeah, I think this is the part he has to go through a practice, I believe. Yeah. Rick's got all that.
Andy, when you play San Francisco, obviously, at least for us, brings up memories the last time you faced these guys. The roster's turned over. I understand you still got Patrick and Travis, but the roster's turned over quite a bit over the last 3 years. Do you develop an appreciation for still being where you guys are, competing for what you're competing for, despite that turnover in 3 years?
Yeah, listen, I always give credit to Brett on that stuff. He deals with it, and his guys deal with it. And you guys have got to know Brett now, so you know the energy level and the amount of time that he puts into this thing and bringing us good players to coach. And so we appreciate that. It gives us an opportunity. Now we've got to coach guys up, and guys have to play. And we're early in the season, and we got to keep growing together. But we appreciate the talent that we've been given. Yeah, for sure.
Can you speak to just the difficulty of maintaining that once you win something? I mean, obviously, I know Patrick helps a lot, but there's teams out there with good quarterbacks that don't compete every year.
There's a good nucleus, I guess, of a couple guys, if that's considered a nucleus, that have been here and kind of get it, and they have a voice in the locker room. And then there's some veteran players that we brought in that go, yeah, you know what, that's the way it needs to be. So they bought in, and again, I appreciate that part because that's not always that way. But we've been blessed to have some good guys here that understand the hard work, and all those things pay off for you down the road.
Andy, you're going up against D'Amico Ryans, 49ers defensive coordinator. He played under you for a year, I believe.
Yeah.
Just what were your impressions of him as a player and then now as him as a coach?
A phenomenal person, and absolutely brilliant as a player, just understanding the game, and you're seeing that now as a coach. So I'm very happy for him. He's one of those guys you pull for, unless you're playing him, but you pull for him.
Coach, I think it was after the Raider game, Pat said that there were some things, they were doing different things, and you reached back for something from a couple of games ago, right? And everybody was able to digest it. How often, do you find that that happens, and how important is it to have, the guys that can, have that memory bank and
Sure.
go back and.
Yeah. So probably come back to Sam's question. With the record that we have, we seem to get different looks than maybe what the team has shown traditionally. And so we've seen that for the last couple of years now. And you have to be able to be a little flexible on your feet there to maneuver around it. So, and again, we're lucky that we have guys that can retain. We have a quarterback that gets it, and so we're able to pull a couple things here and there if needed. And our coaches have good retention there to help with.
How far back can you go? I mean, you ever?
And normally what you do is it's things that maybe you've worked on in camp, but then you've put on the back burner, or you might use 3 or 4 weeks down the season. Potentially there's something that you had the year before you might sneak out, but normally it's from that whole grouping of plays that you put in camp. It's like a reservoir, and you kind of draw from that as you go through the year. Well, you might have to draw a little sooner than you might think, so you can pull those out. So it isn't 10 years ago, it's might be the year before or potentially training camp.
To that point, Andy, you guys have been through this enough to where, to your point, seeing more single man coverage, how much can that be beneficial versus doing it in training camp, or maybe seeing it in spots versus a team being more deliberate against you in man coverage this early in the season?
Yeah, the thing we've seen is a mix, a huge mix. So, and that's kind of the flavor of the league right now, I think. And then they'll pick a little bit more of something percentage-wise to play against you. So man has been something that we've seen. We were lucky that we saw it in training camp with our own defense, and so we've worked the routes, most of the routes against it. Then it's just a matter of trying to defeat the guy that's covering you. But it's not a shot. Right now, most of the coverages that we're getting, we've seen because these teams are doing these things. It's a variety pack.
Coach, it seems like early in games you guys are being deliberate about trying to establish the run. With 3 talented backs, how are you determining who goes in when? Is that up to Greg, or is it just a combination of things?
Yeah, so we've got trust in all of them, and they've all got kind of their plays and times that we try to use them. It just depends on the game. So this game might be different than the last game, but we try to give them as close to equal opportunity as we can. I know Pacheco came up a little short this last game. He had 10 reps, I think it was. So.
Andy, going back to Sam's question, the last time you played San Francisco, do you have a different appreciation for Wasp now, 3 years down the line, and kind of the changing moment it was for this organization?
Yeah, that play got a lot of publicity, I know. So I'm sure they've worked on it, but we don't run anymore, so it's all right.
Couple more guys.
Coach, with the run game, the physicality part of it, I mean, I know you obviously want to gain yards, and, Eric comes in and talks about every play, being designed to score a touchdown, but is it still important in the game to be physical, to, for lack of a better term, land the body blows, maybe beat the defense up a little bit so that you got an extra step in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, now I think you can do that in the run game and the pass game. That's and to think different than that as a lineman is a mistake. So normally in a normal pass rush, there's an uncovered lineman, and so you're just not standing there picking your nose. You're working, and you're letting people know that you're around, right? And then you need to be physical in the run game likewise, and finish your blocks. But that part's still part of this game, and those guys are very important guys to set a certain tempo.